Let's be honest for a second, most people don't dream about moving to Cranston. They land on Cranston because they're trying to solve a problem. Providence feels like too much. Warwick feels like, well, it's Warwick. And Cranston is right there in the middle. But here's where people get it wrong. They treat Cranston like it's one place, and it's not. Now, depending on where you land, your day-to-day life can feel completely different. So if you're relocating and Cranston is on your radar, I'm gonna break down exactly how to choose the right area before you end up in the one that's wrong for you, because you can end up in a neighborhood that just technically fits your budget, but it doesn't fit how you actually live. So today I'm gonna break down a few key areas of Cranston, and more importantly, how to figure out where you belong based upon your lifestyle, your commute, and your actual budget. Now, if we haven't met yet, I'm Jess Powers. I've been a realtor for more than 14 years, and as a person who relocated here to Rhode Island a long time ago from the Midwest, I find it fascinating how different the towns and even the neighborhoods can be, even if you only travel 5 or 10 minutes. Rhode Island is truly so unique. Now, I live right over the line in Hope, which borders Western Cranston. My office is on Reservoir Ave, near Garden City in Cranston, so I'm in and out of Cranston neighborhoods constantly. My bestie lives in Edgewood, so while I don't personally live in Cranston, I am in and out and around the various areas constantly. Now, when you're moving from out of state, the hardest part isn't finding a house. It's not even trying to figure out how to pronounce the names of the towns here. It's understanding how different each pocket actually feels once you're living there. So I want to break this down with you the way that I break it down with my relocation clients. Quick context before we zoom in. Cranston median sale price is about $460. That was for 2025. Homes are moving really in a few weeks, and most are still selling slightly over asking, but that number doesn't mean much until you understand where you're actually buying, because pricing, it shifts a lot depending on the neighborhood. Now, a quick note before we get into it. Cranston has a lot of different neighborhoods. Edgewood, Knightsville, Ralph Square. Those are ones that I'm not going into in this video. Those are all great areas. I've actually done separate videos breaking down those areas. But in this video, I want to focus on the neighborhoods where I see relocation buyers spending the most time comparing, where the trade-offs between price, space, and lifestyle are the most noticeable, because that's where people either get it right or get it wrong. So let's start with the area that a lot of relocation buyers think they want. So we're talking about Western Cranston. It sits outside of 295. It's suburban. It's not rural, although you do tend to get larger lots in this area than in any other area of Cranston. Think neighborhood developments. Homes built in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, ongoing new construction, more driveway, more backyard, a little bit more breathing room. And of course, when I say larger lots, I mean larger for Rhode Island, not Midwest acreage. You still have neighbors. So if you want 5+ acres, you are moving to different areas. This is not it. Now, I drive through Western Cranston every single day to get home. It feels quieter, a little bit more removed, but you're still connected. You're not out in the middle of nowhere. This area tends to attract buyers that are coming from places like Jersey, Pennsylvania, maybe parts of Texas, where that suburban layout feels a little bit more familiar, or step-up buyers who have outgrown their first home and want to live where they grew up. Yes, this is an area that locals come back home to. Now here's the trade-off. Western Cranston is typically one of the higher price points in the city. That's because you're buying more square footage, newer construction, more land. Now, new construction here is often over $1 million, so if your budget is closer to Cranston median, this likely isn't where we're looking. And this is where people need to be honest with themselves. Do you want space enough to justify that price jump? Or do you actually want something that's a little bit more central? Because these are very different paths. Now let's look at Dean Estates. We're gonna shift back towards central Cranston. This is actually one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city. You're gonna get architectural character, well-established streets, beautiful mature trees, a mix of ranches, colonials, and some really beautiful mid-century modern homes, which are actually my favorite. I have been in some amazingly well-preserved mid-century homes over the years in this area. Most of the homes in this area were built in the 50s and the 80s, and if you know Dean Estates, you know the oak trees. They are stunning, they are dense, but here's the part nobody really talks about. I had a buyer fall in love with the house here. We toured it in the fall. She stood in the yard, she looked up, and she said, "Jess, I don't think I can handle all the leaves." And honestly, that's real. These are the details that people don't think about when they're looking for a home and they fall in love with the charm and the character. The trees are gorgeous, but honestly, that maintenance in the fall and the spring, the summer, and throughout the year, that's real. Now the price point here typically lands in the high 600s, with some homes going over $1 million. So buyers here are usually prioritizing character, location, established neighborhoods over brand new construction. Now right next to Dean Estates, you've got Glen Woods. It's gonna have a very similar feel. Established streets, similar era homes, mature landscaping, but typically a slightly lower price point, more in the mid 500s to low 600s. And you're gonna have slightly smaller lots. So for somebody that loves Dean Estates but wants, I would say, a softer entry point, this is often where we pivot. Now just south of that, across Route 37, you hit Garden Hills. And Route 37 is a real dividing line, not just on a map, but in pricing and in feel. Garden Hills gives you more variety. You will have ranches, colonials, split levels, mixed levels of updates. Pricing it's just gonna vary more here. So this tends to attract buyers who want central location, flexibility and budget, and they're okay with a wider mix of home styles and condition. Same general area, but very different inventory feel. All right, I wanna take a quick pause here. If everything so far is feeling like nice, but still pushing my budget, this is where things start to shift. Meshanticut and Stonehill are where a lot of relocation buyers find that balance. These neighborhoods were largely developed between the 40s and 60s, so you will find smaller footprint homes. Again, you've got established streets, sidewalks, strong neighborhood feel, and pricing here typically falls in the mid 400s to mid 500s, so much closer to Cranston's overall median. Lot size are smaller than Dean Estates or Western Cranston. This is a lot more densely populated. Homes are older, but this is where a lot of buyers land when they want more of a central location, kind of that community feel, more approachable price point. These two neighborhoods often end up in the same search because they check very similar boxes. Now, completely different lifestyle, the residential neighborhood behind Garden City Shopping Center. This is what people refer to as Garden City. You're looking at, again, smaller lots, ranches, colonials, pricing generally from the upper 400s into the 700,000s, but the real differentiator here is walkability. You can walk to restaurants, coffee shops, you can make errands. I actually really love Garden City. There's a fabulous Indian restaurant called Chaska, and there are several other local spots that I love to go to. And yes, we Rhode Islanders are obsessed with food. We talk about food all the time, so in my videos, I will often reference different food. Now my office is in this area. It's a little bit further north than Garden City, but I love the area. Now I recently had a client, she was a single mom who chose this neighborhood for one specific reason, her teenage son. She loved that he could walk and meet friends at Garden City. He could grab some food, have some independence. She felt comfortable with him being able to do that and getting out and walk around. That lifestyle piece mattered more than having a bigger yard in a different neighborhood. And that's the trade-off here. Maybe a little bit less space, but maybe some more convenience. But not everyone is going to care about being able to walk to Garden City. But that's the difference. What is important to you? So for most of Central Cranston, you're about 20 minutes into Providence. It's quick access to Route 10. You can easily connect to 95. You can get a quick Uber to our amazing TF Green Airport. Of course, Western Cranston can add a little bit extra time depending on where you are. Small differences on a map can actually feel bigger in your daily routine, so you really need to kind of test it out. Reservoir Ave, Route 37, those can get really busy. So if you're commuting regularly, we want to map that out early. A daily commute to Boston would be a grind unless you're in, say, Edgewood. That's the neighborhood that's right across from the Providence line. I have a video that I dedicated to that specific neighborhood. Now everybody wants to know about schools, and the elementary school assignments vary by neighborhood, sometimes even by street. Now as your realtor, I can't steer you towards specific schools, but I can give you the tools to research properly. I always recommend niche.com, state report cards, but also calling the schools directly. Ask them about class size, programs, support systems, because ratings, they don't always tell you the whole story. My own kids went to the highly rated schools in East Greenwich, and honestly, it wasn't the best fit for either of them. So a 10 out of 10 school doesn't automatically mean it's the right one. And now even if you don't have kids, they're not in your future, you do not want them, school perception still impacts property values. All of this are things that you should check out and think about and not make assumptions on. Now, when people reach out, they often just say, we want the best area, we want somewhere safe. That's not really deep enough. Better questions are, do you want newer construction or character? Do you care about walkability? Are you okay driving everywhere? Do you want more space? Do you want more neighborhood? Do you want to stay closer to the median price point? Cranston gives you all of these options, just not in the same neighborhood. And sometimes the deciding factor, it's not price, it's leaves in October, or whether your kid can walk to grab a slice of pizza with his friends. Cranston is one of the most versatile cities in Rhode Island. Western Cranston gives you suburban space and newer builds. Dean Estates gives you character, established prestige. Glen Woods and Garden Hills give you central access with a little bit more flexibility. Meshanticut and Stonehill gives you value. Garden City gives you lifestyle and walkability. And these aren't the only neighborhoods in Cranston. Now the market throughout Cranston, honestly throughout Rhode Island, still competitive. Homes move quickly, often selling over asking. So if you're relocating, or if you're a Rhode Islander and you just want to move somewhere different, you're not sure about all the spots, if you're trying to figure out where your lifestyle and your budget actually line up, that is exactly the point where people usually reach out to me. Now on paper, a lot of these neighborhoods, they can look very similar, but in reality, they are not. And being able to make that decision right up front makes things a whole lot easier. Now, if you want help finding where you should land, reach out. I'm always here to help.